I told myself I wasn't going to talk about this, but y'all asked on Instagram, and so who am I to deny you this information? So somebody asked, why would you suggest becoming a Pinterest virtual assistant over selling a online course or a digital product? Because I mean, if we're being really honest, when you open up Instagram now, and if you are somebody who is looking for, additional income or replace your 9 to 6, you're going to be inundated with people telling you to literally create a Canva digital product, sell it for $10, and that you can make $10,000 a month. I'm not saying that is not true because people do that all the time. What I'm saying is that I don't think unless you're in that space, unless you've sold digital products or programs, I don't think people understand everything that goes into doing that. It is no secret. I am the biggest fan of online courses. We have multiple online courses that we sell. I think that they are powerful tools. I just don't think that those who are selling other people on creating online courses are being really honest about how much goes into it from a marketing standpoint. And the reason why I believe this is because I had no idea when I first entered this space. We created our first online program in 2020. Actually, it may have been the end of 2019, early 2020. And we literally thought, we'll create this online course. People will automatically buy it. Wonderful. Everyone's going to want it just because we created this. And what we did was we actually spent months creating this program. We launched it, and literally my mom bought it. My mom was the only person who purchased the program in the first month. And then we were like, what is going on? Like, everyone says create an online course and you'll make, millions. What's happening? And what we learned through all of this, because that was, the first one we created, and we've created so many programs since then. What we learned is that you can't just simply create something and hope that people will purchase it. You have to be doing marketing for it. You have to be understanding what that person really needs on the other side and how your program is going to solve that need for them. And listen, this was back in 2000 and this was back in 2020, 2021, where honestly selling online programs were significantly easier than it is now. And so the point of this is that I have a lot of conversations with people inside of DMs, and they're like, I'm between becoming a Pinterest virtual assistant and selling a digital product. And this is what I have to say. Do whatever you want to do at the end of the day. It is your business. It is your life. You're the one who's going to have to show up every single day and enjoy what you're doing. But I also want you to know the reality of it. So the reality is that there is a standard metric when it comes to how many people you need seeing a landing page in order to actually purchase. And so the industry standard is 2%, which means you need to send 100 people to a sales page to get 2 sales. And that's if your messaging is really tight. That's if you really understand the market and the industry. How do you get 100 people over to that page? Well, you have to market it. You need to be showing up daily. You need to be, once again, talking to a specific problem that then's going to get people over. Or you have to run ads. You got to spend money around that. There's really no two ways around it. That is how you sell an online program in 2026. To become a Pinterest virtual assistant, you need to offer a service. When I decided to enter this space, and I love this space so much, so I try not to come at this from a very biased perspective, but I think I do a good job of not being biased because I not only run a Pinterest agency, we also do sell digital programs, right? So I am able to see both sides of this. And I've also failed at selling a lot of digital programs over the years, and I've also failed at rolling out different services. So I feel like I can really speak at this from without being biased. When you become a Pinterest virtual assistant, you have an advantage. And the advantage is that you're actually performing a service for someone. And if there's one thing I know to be true, it's people will always pay to have problems taken off of their plate. They will. They will always pay to have someone else handle a problem. When you're selling an online course, you're not taking that problem off of their plate. You're providing them with a solution. You're providing them with a roadmap. You're providing them with really, really valuable information, but they still have to take action at the end of the day, right? And so where you have an advantage by actually becoming a Pinterest VA is you are providing a service. You are taking that problem off of their plate. Whether that problem is that they need more leads, they need more traffic, they need more sales, you're taking that off of their plate. You're solving a problem for them. They pay you a flat fee each month in order to do and complete said problem for them. That is a very unfair advantage because of how people operate. But it's amazing for you if you enter this space, because I can tell you, as someone who has offered services in this agency aspect and also sold an online course teaching business owners how to do this for themselves when it comes to Pinterest, they're not even close. Not even close. Multiple seven figures on the agency side, and we almost hit six figures on the online course side when it comes to teaching business owners how to leverage Pinterest. And that was heavily selling that program for years because people pay to have problems taken off of their plate. And so when you look at the numbers and when you look at it, and then also before I even go down that path, what is your time worth? Because here's the thing, if you're selling an online product, your time, if you're selling an online product for $10 or $100 or $1,000, the amount of time that you're going to spend getting people to actually make that purchase is going to be a lot. It is. I can tell you at the height of really, really pushing our online programs, I was spending about 4 hours a day simply marketing these programs. That's it. It did not count for the actual community support on the back end, for the customer service. And so when you looked at the hourly rate there, it was like, well, it's not as great as you think it is, because selling an online program is not passive. And I will die on that hill. It is not passive at all. Being a Pinterest virtual assistant is not passive, but your hourly rate goes a lot further because once you get this client, they're reoccurring. And the great thing is once you know what they want, it can take you 4 hours, literally, I don't even want to say a week, but it could take you 4 hours a week to set this client up for the month. And then if they're paying you $1,000, heck yeah, I'll take 4 hours for $1,000 over 4 hours a day for $1,000, right? So that's what I always, and that's the point of this, is that you get to decide at the end of the day. You get to decide the type of business you want to build. You get to decide the type of life you're going to have. You get to make those decisions. Just make sure you have all of the proper information. And I hope that this did do a good job of kind of highlighting that there's not one right or wrong way to building an online business. We just need to be really realistic with ourselves on how our time is. I know for me personally, I'm about to become a mother, which is crazy. And I know walking through this phase that it is way more valuable to me personally to have agency clients than it is to be pushing digital programs, because agency clients are reoccurring. They're higher in terms of what they're paying each month, and I'm not having to constantly chase after a sale every single day. And that brings on me a lot of comfort that allows me to feel like I can confidently walk into this next stage of life. And that's what I want for all of you. I want you all to be able to know how much money you have coming in each month, to not feel like you're scrambling to make that next sale, and to be able to actually enjoy your day-to-day life. Because I can tell you, we start these businesses so we can get freedom back. And sometimes we don't understand, or we don't see the full picture, that just because something is being sold with a really pretty bow on it, telling us that it's passive, it doesn't actually mean that it is. And so I hope that this did a good job of highlighting that. If you're curious about what it looks like to become a Pinterest VA when in terms of like what services to offer and how much you can charge, make sure to jump into my free masterclass because I walk you through so much. I even walk you through how to find your hourly rate. So like what you need to charge on an hourly and monthly basis based off of the amount of time that you have. And I think that's a really powerful formula that we go through because every single person's situation is different and unique. I would love to know if you found this valuable. And as always, please jump over to Instagram. Let me know what you want me to talk more about. Let me know if you're enjoying these because I love being able to go a little bit deeper. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes on Instagram stories going through all of this, but I love being able to chat with y'all about topics that we can't really go in depth on Instagram about. So, like I said, I've linked resources for you inside the show notes, and I can't wait to see you inside the next video.